What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another Classic WoW video, and today I want to take a trip down memory lane and also look towards the future when it comes to Classic WoW and their seasonal content. As we all know, Season of Discovery was an absolute blast, pulled in some of the best numbers we've seen since basically Classic WoW 2019 when it comes to active player numbers. The launch was absolutely insane, and now that season is technically quote-unquote over. Blizzard announced a couple of months ago now that they are stopping development for the season, and there's basically nothing happening. I mean, you still have about 3,000 people raid logging, but what is that compared to what we used to have? Even in the last phase we were about 100k, and now we're down to 3. And even with 100k, that was considered not a big point of Season of Discovery. It was a low point compared to Phase 1 and Phase 2, and possibly even Phase 3. So even now, we have 3% of what was considered a low point at one point. Season of Discovery was a blast, and I feel like we need to have something new to play, because right now we don't really have a lot of options. We have Classic Era, we have Anniversary, we have Hardcore, Mist of Pandaria, but there's some people that just like, we need something else. Season of Discovery filled a massive hole in that content space of things to play. People are really wanting something like Classic Plus now, and they are tired of just doing the same content on repeat. People want new things. Mist of Pandaria, not everyone's cup of tea. Cataclysm was also not everyone's cup of tea. And to me personally, I threw the word classic out after Wrath of the Lich King. Anything past that to me is not classic, but I understand that Blizzard has to have a word for it, because like Cataclysm Classic is not the same as Cataclysm back in the day. It's a classic rework of Cataclysm, but it's just not classic to me. Anything past Wrath just doesn't fit into the whole classic theme, so to me replaying those expansions is great, but it doesn't really satisfy my classic need. And the same thing goes for Anniversary right now. Like, to me it's cool to replay the old thing, but I want something more and something different. Season of Discovery filled that hole perfectly, but now that's kind of over. And I need, well, I think we as consumers, customers and the gamers need something new to at least be announced, that we can know that they're working on, and then we can start getting hype for. Because right now there's not really a lot to be excited about, unless you play Anniversary and you're excited for TBC. Like, that's gonna be amazing. But once again, not everyone wants to go back and play that a second time. I personally really wanted to experience being a Warlock, or anything but a Boomkin really, in TBC. So recently I found this Reddit thread that I kind of want to look at, this one right here. I miss you, old friend. This is a thread about Season of Discovery, and people are sharing their experiences, what they're missing and stuff and things, and to be honest, I think it's a really good thread to just read, and to me it brought back a lot of good memories from playing Season of Discovery myself. I think Season of Discovery was a great time, definitely had its flaws for sure, like I've been talking about them a lot. Incursions, for example, was not really a good one, and a lot of other things as well, like for example teasing the Scarlet Raid when they announced the season, and then waiting 1.5 years to give us what was teased. And the same thing with Carousel Crypt. I feel like all of that should have been content that was added way earlier in the season, but we did get it eventually, but should definitely have been there way earlier. Then we also had the rune acquisition for alts that could have been like worked on better, and the catch-up mechanics as well. However, the season itself was overall a very good experience, and I really just want to like talk about that. I want to mention it was a really good experience, because when I talk about the bad things, I never do that to like try to say Season of Discovery was bad. I really enjoyed Season of Discovery, I had an absolute blast, but I feel like talking both as a community and also letting Blizzard know what could have been done differently is how we get the improvements. People always shit on me whenever I say anything bad about the game or bring up problems, because at that point I'm the bad guy. If I bring up anything negative, I am the bad guy, I hate the game. Meanwhile, I'm trying to bring up the things that could have been done different in order to maybe give feedback about not do them that way and make the game better. When I talk about bugs, I want them to be fixed for the game to be better. When I talk about incursions and me not liking them, I'm trying to gather feedback. If a lot of people don't like them and the majority of players didn't like them, maybe they shouldn't have been there. In which case, maybe the future season should not have them, and us talking about that and letting Blizzard know is how we make that happen. Either way, let's get into the thread, shall we? So, what made P1 so great is the fact that after you hit level 25, you just wanted to explore the world for runes, either it be world PvP or just cross-faction interactions. It was such a good time. Also trying how many high-level mobs and quests you can do and min-maxing for killing them. I farmed so many Dark Iron Dwarves, and then you couldn't level in P2 because you had done all the quests. Like, all of those things was just really fun, because it's things we had never done before. Phase 1, the level cap being 25, introduced a whole new endgame that we had never really experienced, and people tried to push the boundaries of being level 25 and see how much high level content they could do at level 25, even just for fun, but also to try to find the runes from phase 2. They tried to find things that was not supposed to be in the game, and also trying to get best in slot items that they theoretically should not be able to get at the moment. We even had people that soloed level 40 elite at level 25 and kited them around for half an hour using thrown weapons and just kiting mobs around all the time. I feel like Classic WoW, and especially Vanilla WoW in every single version we have had, it's always been a straight line. You start playing the game, you quest or do dungeon farming or whatever to level 60, you farm the pre-raid abyss in the dungeons you have since 2019, and then you start raiding. It's always been a straight path from A to B. Season of Discovery changed that path completely, and it was no longer A to B. It was going through the whole alphabet, but also you could just choose the numbers. You can go from A to F to M. It's just go all around the place and just do whatever you want in whatever order you want. Did you want to level to 25, then go straight to the raid? You actually could do that. I did that on multiple alts myself. The raid was not that hard. Did you want to get to level 25, then get all the runes for your class and farm pre-raid abyss? You could do that as well. Did you want to speed level to 25 or get runes on the way and get more powerful as you level? It was just a lot of options you could do while leveling, and they all made sense. If you worked on runes while you were leveling, you were literally working towards what was then considered endgame content while you were leveling. If you did Dead Mines or Wailing Caverns while leveling, you were working towards endgame content while you were leveling. I personally love the whole staggered leveling phases, and it's something that I have said and will keep saying that I'm a huge fan of. The one thing I'm not a fan of is how long they were, especially some of them being up to 3 months, I think, 10-12 weeks at level 25, level 40 and level 50, was a little bit too much, because when they announced this at BlizzCon, I thought that maybe it would be 4 to 6 weeks for each phase while leveling. I never thought we would be farming best in slot items in the raid for 10 plus resets while leveling. I feel like they dragged that out maybe a little bit too much, but then again, phase 1 was one of the best phases, so maybe they should have kept that one out for even longer. I'm not sure. But yeah, they dragged it out a bit too much, especially when we got to Sunken Temple. That was a little bit too much Sunken Temple. And also, like I said earlier in the video, I feel like they should have added the Scarlet Enclave raid or the Scarlet Crusade raid way earlier in the season itself. It's something that was teased when they announced the season, and then having to wait 1.5 years to actually play that content felt extremely bad, because you always had this feeling of, hey, just wait, it's content that will be added at some point, but when is that some point? Why couldn't they have made that raid for level 50 content in phase 3? That way they could have still had regular, the phase 1 and phase 2 could have been the same way it was, that's fine, but in phase 3, instead of doing Sunken Temple, we do a Scarlet raid, literally custom content, getting people hyped in phase 3, and by doing that, they could have made more custom content later down the line. Think about an Emerald Nightmare raid in phase 5 or phase 6 or phase 7, possibly even phase 8. Grimbat Hall raid as well, for phase 8 or phase 9. They could have made way more custom content later down the line, by giving us some custom content earlier in the season, and that is just me speaking rhetorically, speaking back in time about what I personally wanted to see. Phase 3 for me, I was so pumped, and I really wanted to see the Scarlet Raid, and when they told me it was Sunken Temple, my heart just broke a little bit. Either way, let's keep reading the thread. It was only fun if you talked to people in the game. Those runes were nearly impossible to find naturally on their own. I'm actually super impressed people found them all. Some of them were insane, and they really were. I'm super impressed with like how quickly people found them as well. Even the really hard ones, people found them in like a day or two. I think the longest one to get took probably 3 days or something, but either way, people found these runes insanely quick. And the one thing I'm not a huge fan of here, but I mean, it's just the time we live in. At one point, it was just click Wowhead, click on the runes you wanted to get, and follow instructions. The whole discovery element went out of the window, but that's just something that we as gamers, myself included, we do to ourselves, because you don't have to go on Wowhead and look up the runes, but people just care way more about their time now, they care about efficiency. They want to just find out how to get the runes and get them. However, in Season of Discovery, before those guides were out, the whole discovery element was great. So like on day 1 and day 2 of every single phase, it was a really fun experience just trying to find out where things were. And yeah, I really wish kind of that Wowhead didn't make guides on the runes for the first couple of weeks, just to allow people to speak in-game and try to find the runes on their own in-game. But then again, if Wowhead doesn't make the guides on the runes, somebody else will. There's going to be a YouTuber doing it, Icy Veins, I don't know, Reddit. There's always going to be someone or something. And going further down in this thread, it really just looks like people in general are missing Season of Discovery, sharing their good experiences of Season of Discovery from back then, and simply just wanting those experiences back, or wanting to experience something similar. And I can't help but be in that same boat. I really miss Season of Discovery, and I want to experience something similar, but not the exact same thing again. Which kind of brings me to what I want to talk about here. What exactly is going to be happening next? And I mean, we don't know. Blizzard haven't told us, and I really wish they had, because I feel like Season of Discovery, for example, they announced it, and they gave us like, what, a 1-month warning? Maybe even not that. Like, they were just like, hey, we've been cooking up this, and hey, you can play it very soon. In like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, by the way. I feel like, in this case, give us more time to hype up that project, and also to mentally prepare ourselves to play it as well. And if they're working on a season now, please tell us. Announce it and keep developing it. I hope that they're doing 2 things right now. I hope that we're getting 1 more season, and I also hope they're working on Classic Plus in the background. And the reason why I'm hoping for a season in between here is that Classic Plus simply needs time. They shouldn't rush this. I mean, we have seen what happens when you rush a project. Don't rush it. Take your time, develop it, making it as good as you can. I say take your time, but like 2026, it should be out. 2027 at latest, but preferably 2026 at some point, even like late in the year, or early 2027 at the latest. But until then, we can have a short 1-year season going, or even like a little bit more than 1 year. And I personally have this thing where maybe it would be good to have a season not set in vanilla, or set in vanilla plus another expansion. And for me, I would love to see a Wrath season. I'm not sure about you guys, but to me, we have not played Wrath for 2 years. Like, we had Cataclysm Classic, and now we have Mists of Pandaria. We haven't played Wrath for a long time, and if Anniversary goes to Wrath, which isn't really confirmed yet, by the way, but we are expecting it does. It's confirmed to go to TBC, and I'm guessing it goes to Wrath as well. But even if it does, that means that we are still 2 years away from a potential Anniversary Wrath experience as well. So we have like this 4-year period where we are now in the middle of no Wrath. 4 years of no Wrath of the Lich King, which is arguably the best expansion WoW has ever made. I feel like that could be a banger of a season. Think about Season of Discovery, but set in Wrath, and you're leveling from 60 in the Wrath pre-patch, like, leveling values, right? So you're leveling all the way from, did I say level 60? You're leveling from level 1, and on a Wrath pre-patch place like Wrath expansion. So you have the Wrath quest, you have the Wrath quest experience numbers. You level up way faster. I think 1 to level 60 in that version takes about like half of Classic WoW. Maybe not half, but like 66%. So leveling will be way faster, and personally, once again, I would love for them to work on Classic Plus in the background and announce a Wrath season. And I really hope, I'm going to make another video talking more about this I think, but I really hope for Classic Plus they announce it way ahead of time and develop it with the community. Start making posts on your official World of Warcraft or Battle.net website and ask for feedback. Show us what you have developed and ask for feedback. I feel like a good Classic Plus experience is only made if you ask the players what they want and consider that along the way. So making posts, just like tell us what you have done. Do a weekly developer update, showing us what you have done that week, and ask us questions on a weekly basis. And if weekly basis is too much, do bi-weekly. Either way, I'm kind of tired of looking at this gnome walk right now, even though it's been chill. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know your thoughts about everything in the comments down below. I'm also streaming live on Kick, by the way. I'll be live right now when you're watching the video, so come by and say hello. The link will be down below. I'm streaming the T server, for example, on Kick. I'm streaming Anniversary on Kick. I'm going to be streaming TBC when that comes out on Kick as well. So once again, follow me on Kick. I would really appreciate it. We are so close to getting partner on Kick, by the way, so like any help at all would be incredibly appreciated. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed the video and me just talking today. Leave your thoughts in the comments and leave a like, leave a sub, and thank you for watching. I will see you again in the next video very soon.